Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anik, I'm a classical pianist. Last time we started to look at Beethoven Waldsteinsonata, and today we're going to continue with interpretation and fingering. Again, this is just my interpretation, my way of how I work and how I practice and how I find a fingering for me, for myself. And this is a very long process. Everyone has a different hand, everyone has a different body and a different taste of music, so everyone is going to interpret things differently. What I'm going to show here is just my personal way how I practice, how I find my interpretation and my fingering. So let's get started with the next few bars of the Beethoven Waldsteinsonata. Okay, so now we have a very long note. It's the longest and the highest note that we have. And you're pointing to this note. And if you're pointing to this note, then you can already, you're pointing with the second finger. So I would also say that we're going to point on this note with the second finger and then move the elbow very wide away. So because there is written a crescendo, and of course we can't do a crescendo on a note that is already played on the piano. So we'll have to really feel this crescendo and to think of this crescendo. And the more we support this feeling and thinking with our moves, the better it is and the easier it is. So I would recommend to really move your elbow through the whole time and don't just stop here without moving. And then when it's getting like you can try to do this with your arm and hands in the air, and you will see that you're doing like an infinite move here, and you have to reflect this move on the keys. Now if I'm using the fingering that is written in there, it's like, so at least down there's a little bit of movement there, but up there we are not moving at all. So it is like but we want this. So it's a very crazy fingering here, and maybe you won't use it for the actual performance, but it's very useful to practice this with the first finger instead of the fifth up there. So you are beginning with the fifth here, and then coming up with your thumb here. Of course, not pushing all your fingers up. I just do this to demonstrate that I'm using the thumb here. But in the end, what you see is automatically that when you're using your thumb there, you have to push out your elbow. And this gives you just the right amount of time, the right amount of energy to do this turning back. Like, and it will also automatically give you kind of dynamics in it, so you don't have to do this on your own again. It's a little bit complicated, and you have really to practice this because it's not that usual to do this. But for me it helped a lot. Now the left hand is like what I'm doing there. So here in that part, I'm using 3 and 1 in the left hand, and then it is like so it's like forwards, backwards, and this move there, the di-da, 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 dim. This is also something that you want to reflect on the keys. If you're using the exact same fingering for the whole part here, like 3 and 1 for the whole part, it's like, so you're automatically forced to move your hand into the keys because of the black key. This will give you something like a lifting in your moves, what you also want for the sound here. So it's in the end like, now I think the next part here It's pretty clear because there is no, actually for me there is no other way to play down. Here in the end I would use 3 2 1 2 3 at the end, because you will have this turn here. It's not like here without any moves in your arm again, but a little bit with movement here. And then we have, I would just use the exact same fingering for every single note here, because you're like going step by step downwards, and your left hand is using the same fingerings all the time, so I would also do it for your right hand. In that case I would use the third finger because it's in the middle, it's balanced, and combined with the first and fifth finger of the left hand, it is easier to like balance the whole playing here. Okay? So this was the video for today. Of course, this is only my interpretation and it's my body, my fingers, so this is a solution that works for me in this moment. It will maybe change in the future because I am changing, my fingers are changing, everything is changing, but for now this is working for me and this is an interpretation that I understand and that I feel good with. Everyone is playing differently, and this is not a perfect interpretation or an interpretation that fits everyone. In this video I just wanted to show you how I work, how I think many professionals work. I'm really focusing on each and every note. It's not only like, okay, practice until you die, but like think of what you're doing so you don't have to practice that much in the end. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss the next video, then please subscribe and hit the bell. And like always, please check out my Instagram, my website and my Patreon. See you in the next video. Bye!